Level 1. Environmental conditional curse. Activate when specific locations are violated or actions are performed. Human intervention triggers these dormant curses. The curse exists as a protective barrier around sacred spaces. The Pharaoh's tomb curse demonstrates this mechanism. This curse originated in ancient Egyptian burial practices. Tombs were designed as eternal resting places for pharaohs and nobility. Egyptians believed tomb disturbance would trigger supernatural retribution. Ancient Egyptians carved warnings directly into tomb walls using hieroglyphic inscriptions. These inscriptions contained explicit death threats. The deceased ruler's spirit enforced the curse. Protective deities guarded the tomb. The curse gained widespread attention in 1922, following Howard Carter's discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb. Within months, Lord Carnarvon died from an infected mosquito bite in Cairo. Lord Carnarvon had financed the expedition. Several other individuals connected to the excavation died within the following years. Newspapers attributed these deaths to the pharaoh's curse, creating international sensation. Environmental conditional curses have limited scope. The curse activates only when someone physically enters forbidden space or removes artifacts. It affects only violators, not families or descendants. Punishment typically manifests as death through illness or accident. The curse has geographical limits tied to specific locations. Avoidance is possible through simple non-engagement. Level 2. Reversible transformation curse. Alter physical properties of cursed individuals. These curses contain mechanisms for removal or reversal. Divine intervention or specific ritual actions can restore the victim. King Midas of Phrygia demonstrates this curse type. The god Dionysus offered Midas a wish as reward for showing kindness to Silenus, a satyr companion. Midas requested the ability to transform anything he touched into gold. Dionysus granted this wish without restriction. The transformation operated through direct physical contact. When Midas touched an object, it instantaneously converted to gold. This applied to organic and inorganic matter equally. Contact with any part of Midas's body triggered the change. The curse created immediate survival problems. When Midas attempted to eat, bread solidified into gold. Meat transformed mid-bite. Liquids turned to molten gold. Water became metallic and undrinkable. Midas faced death by starvation and dehydration despite unlimited wealth. Midas begged Dionysus to remove the curse. The god instructed him to wash in the Pactolus River. When Midas bathed in the river, the golden touch transferred from his body into the water. The curse left him completely. The river's sands reportedly contained gold deposits afterward. The suffering lasted days or weeks. Midas survived and returned to normal physical function. Level 3. Permanent transformation with isolation curse. Alter the victim's physical form irreversibly while severing all social connections. The transformed state becomes permanent. The transformation makes human contact impossible or deadly. According to the Roman poet Ovid in his Metamorphoses, Medusa was originally a mortal woman. Earlier Greek sources portrayed her as one of 3 monstrous Gorgon sisters. In Ovid's account, Medusa served as a priestess in Athena's temple. She was known for her beauty, particularly her hair. Poseidon, god of the sea, sexually assaulted Medusa inside Athena's temple. Athena responded by punishing Medusa rather than Poseidon. The goddess transformed Medusa's body completely. Her hair converted into living, venomous serpents that moved independently and hissed continuously. Her eyes gained a supernatural property. Any living being making direct eye contact with Medusa would instantly transform into solid stone. This petrification was absolute and irreversible. The curse forced Medusa into permanent exile. Her presence resulted in unintentional deaths. Anyone who looked at her face would die instantly. She relocated to a remote location at the edge of the known world. No ritual, divine intervention, or action could restore Medusa to human form. She remained in this state for the remainder of her life. The serpents could not be removed. Her eyes retained their deadly property without pause or control. Perseus received a quest to obtain Medusa's head. He used a polished bronze shield as a mirror to view Medusa's reflection. This allowed him to approach without being petrified. He decapitated her while she slept. Even after death, Medusa's severed head retained its curse. Athena mounted the head on her shield, the Aegis, where it functioned as a weapon. Level 4. Unbelieved prophecy curse. Grant the victim complete knowledge of future events while making it impossible for anyone to believe their warnings. The cursed individual sees disasters before they occur with perfect clarity. They retain the ability to communicate visions. However, the curse prevents all listeners from accepting the information as true. Cassandra of Troy demonstrates this mechanism. Cassandra was a princess, daughter of King Priam and Queen Hecuba. The god Apollo desired a romantic relationship with her. To win her affection, Apollo offered her the gift of prophecy. This gift allowed Cassandra to see future events with absolute accuracy. Cassandra accepted the gift but rejected Apollo's romantic proposals. Apollo could not revoke a gift once given. Instead, he modified it. He caused all of Cassandra's prophecies to be disbelieved. When she spoke predictions, people heard her words clearly but perceived them as false. The curse manifested during the Trojan War. The Greeks constructed a massive wooden horse and left it outside Troy's gates. Cassandra immediately recognized this as deception. She saw that Greek soldiers hid inside the hollow horse. She warned Trojan leadership explicitly. The Trojans dismissed her warning. They brought the horse inside the city walls. Cassandra's predictions proved correct. Greek soldiers emerged during the night. They opened the city gates. The Greek army entered Troy. The city fell. Thousands were killed. Cassandra had foreseen every detail but could not prevent any of it. The curse continued after Troy's fall. Cassandra was taken as a war prize by King Agamemnon of Mycenae. She received visions of Agamemnon's death. She saw that his wife Clytemnestra and her lover Aegisthus planned to murder him upon his return home. She warned Agamemnon repeatedly. He ignored every warning. When they arrived in Mycenae, Clytemnestra killed Agamemnon exactly as Cassandra predicted. Clytemnestra then killed Cassandra. Level 5. Inescapable Fate Curse. Lock the victim into a predetermined sequence. Every action taken to prevent fate directly causes it to occur. Oedipus of Thebes demonstrates this mechanism. Before Oedipus's birth, his parents King Laius and Queen Jocasta consulted the oracle at Delphi. The oracle delivered a prophecy stating their son would kill his father and marry his mother. Laius and Jocasta attempted to prevent this through infanticide. When Jocasta gave birth, Laius ordered a servant to abandon the infant on Mount Cithaeron to die. The servant pierced the baby's ankles and bound them together. However, the servant gave the infant to a shepherd from Corinth instead. The Corinthian shepherd delivered the baby to King Polybus and Queen Merope of Corinth. They adopted the infant and named him Oedipus, meaning swollen foot. They raised him as their biological son. As an adult, Oedipus heard a rumor questioning his parentage. He traveled to Delphi to consult with the oracle. The oracle repeated the same prophecy. Oedipus would kill his father and marry his mother. Believing this referred to Polybus and Merope, Oedipus decided never to return to Corinth. Oedipus traveled toward Thebes. At a crossroads, he encountered an older man in a chariot who ordered Oedipus to move off the road. Oedipus refused. An argument escalated into violence. Oedipus killed the older man and most attendants. The man was Laius, his biological father. Oedipus continued to Thebes. The city was terrorized by the Sphinx, a creature that killed anyone who could not answer its riddle. Oedipus solved the riddle correctly. The Sphinx destroyed itself. Thebes celebrated Oedipus as a hero. As reward, Thebans offered Oedipus the vacant throne in marriage to the widowed queen, Jocasta. Oedipus accepted. He did not know Jocasta was his biological mother. Oedipus and Jocasta had 4 children, Polynices, Eteocles, Antigone, and Ismene. Years later, a plague devastated Thebes. Oedipus consulted the oracle. The plague was divine punishment for harboring Laius's murderer. Oedipus vowed to find and punish the killer. The prophet Tiresias revealed the truth. A messenger from Corinth revealed that Polybus was not Oedipus's biological father. He explained he had received Oedipus as an infant from a Theban shepherd. When all evidence emerged, the truth became undeniable. Jocasta hanged herself immediately. Oedipus found her body. He removed gold pins from her dress and used them to stab out his own eyes. He then exiled himself from Thebes. Level 6. Eternal Punishment Curse. Remove the possibility of death while imposing continuous suffering. The victim becomes immortal but cannot experience relief or escape. The Flying Dutchman demonstrates this curse type. According to maritime folklore, a Dutch sea captain attempted to sail around the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa. The Cape was one of the most dangerous maritime passages in the world. The captain encountered a severe storm while approaching the Cape. Wind and waves made navigation impossible. The captain refused to turn back. He was determined to complete the passage regardless of conditions. As the storm intensified, his crew begged him to retreat. He refused. According to some versions, he swore an oath declaring he would sail around the Cape even if it took until Judgment Day. The supernatural powers he challenged took his declaration literally. The curse activated at the moment of his oath. His ship became unable to make port. Every time the vessel approached land, wind or current would push it back to sea. The curse extended to his entire crew. Every sailor aboard became subject to the same immortality. They could not die, could not leave the ship, and could not complete their voyage. The ship transformed into a ghost vessel, appearing translucent or glowing with unnatural light. The physical suffering was continuous. They experienced hunger and thirst perpetually, but could not die from starvation. They aged to a certain point and stopped. Wounds would not heal but would not kill. Other sailors reported sightings from the 1600s through the 1900s. These sightings typically occurred during dangerous weather. The ghost ship appeared on the horizon before vanishing. Maritime tradition held that seeing the Flying Dutchman was an omen of disaster. The curse has no natural endpoint. The captain and crew continue sailing indefinitely. There is no completion of their voyage, no forgiveness earned through suffering. Level 7. Generational and Universal Curses. Extend punishment beyond the original transgressor to affect innocent parties across multiple generations or entire populations. Pandora's myth represents the universal curse mechanism. The Titan Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans. Zeus, king of the gods, decided to punish all humanity. Zeus ordered the creation of the first woman. The gods crafted Pandora, giving her beauty, charm, and curiosity. Hephaestus molded her form from clay. Athena clothed her and taught her crafts. Aphrodite granted her grace. Hermes gave her a cunning mind. Zeus presented Pandora with a sealed jar. In ancient Greek, this was a pythos, a large storage jar. Modern translations incorrectly refer to this as a box due to a 16th century mistranslation by Erasmus. Zeus explicitly instructed Pandora never to open the jar. He provided no explanation. Zeus sent Pandora to Epimetheus, Prometheus's brother, as a bride. Pandora's defining characteristic was curiosity. The sealed jar sat in their home. The prohibition against opening it made her obsession grow stronger. Eventually, Pandora lifted the lid. The jar contained every form of suffering that would plague humanity. When the seal broke, these afflictions flew out and dispersed across the world. Disease emerged. Old age and physical decay manifested. Pain in all its forms was released. Envy, greed, hatred, and malice spread. War, famine, and natural disaster were unleashed. Pandora attempted to close the jar, but damage was done. Only one spirit remained trapped inside. Oedipus, usually translated as hope. Before Pandora opened the jar, humanity existed without disease, aging, or death. They lived without labor. They existed without pain, conflict, or hardship. Pandora's action permanently altered the human condition. The curse operates universally and automatically. Every human inherits vulnerability to disease regardless of behavior. Death comes to all humans without exception. Natural disasters strike without regard to innocence or guilt. The evils released became permanent features of existence. Unlike other curses that end with death, Pandora's curse has no termination point. Each new generation inherits the full burden. The curse represents an irreversible degradation of the human condition that no effort can fully reverse. Level 8. The YouTube algorithm curse affects creators whose viewers forget to subscribe. Reversal mechanism, that button below.